My dad was a mountain climber, and our house was filled with trophies and awards he'd won. It was his dream that both his kids follow in his footsteps, so he started training me and Biku pretty young. I was a natural. Biku struggled a lot.
Stop climbing like an old lady, Biku! Care to pace up? We don't have all day!
Dad kept screaming. Biku got nervous and slipped. Meanwhile, I absolutely nailed my first day of training. Dad was so happy, he praised me all day long.
I'm gonna make you the best mountaineer the world has ever seen!
What about me?
What about you? A snail can climb faster than you, Biku. Being a mountaineer is not in your blood.
But it was my first time climbing, and the guy in front of me kept farting in my face. I got distracted.
Don't be a sour loser, Big Bro. Just accept it. I'm better than you.
Or maybe it was just dumb luck.
Relax, Snappy. I was just kidding. Don't worry. When I become a famous mountaineer, I will definitely train you to be my assistant.
I was joking, but Biku took it seriously and flung his shoe at my head. I ducked, and it hit Dad's trophy shelf, and everything fell to the ground.
Have you gone completely crazy, Biku? It's bad enough that you're an absolute embarrassment, and now you're disrespecting my achievements? You're grounded for a week!
Biku ran to his room crying, and since then, he just hated me for being Dad's favorite. Every time Dad would praise me, Biku would get angry and do crazy things. This one time, he filled my bed with sand, and another time, I opened my bag and saw a huge spider on my books. I was so scared I almost passed out.
Not so tough now, are we?
What's the matter with you? You know I hate spiders!
And I hate you, but I'm dealing with it.
That makes no sense! But Biku just grinned and left. Soon after, Dad started training me, and by 13, I was winning competitions all over town. But one day during training, Dad slipped and injured his knee. He was put on bed rest, and while I stayed up all night looking after him, Biku hardly came to see him. Instead, he skipped school, failed his classes, and started dating this girl in our school, Leela. She was my dad's colleague's daughter, a national-level climber and my biggest competitor. At first, I thought Biku was dating her to get back at me, but one night while I was getting some water, I saw Biku enter Dad's room. I peeked in and saw him stealing from Dad's wallet. What are you doing?
What does it look like? I need money for my date with Leela, and since Dad won't give any, I decided to take it myself. All his money belongs to me anyway. I'm his rightful heir, and you're just an extra.
I'm not letting you steal.
Bite me!
I tried snatching the wallet, but Biku held on to it tight. We fell into a fight and went crashing into Dad's desk. He woke up, and I had no choice but to tell him the truth.
Just when I think you can't embarrass me further, you go ahead and break your own record. I swear I will send you to a military school if you don't mend your ways.
Biku left quietly, and we didn't talk much after that. Dad got better, and we started training for a huge national competition. And every climber in the country, including Leela, was participating. One day at practice, I was slowly making my way up the climbing wall when I heard Leela behind me.
Can you move faster? I don't want to stare at your butt all day.
I'm sure you can find your way around.
I can, but I don't want to. Try the wall for amateurs the next time. You're clearly too slow for this one.
What's your problem?
It's simple. I hate slowpokes.
Leela nudged at me, and I lost my balance. I would have fallen to the ground, but my harness saved me. I was so mad at her, but I decided to get even at the competition and worked twice as hard. On the day of the competition, I felt confident, but just as I started climbing, I slipped and landed on my butt. I lost the competition, and Leela ended up winning the first prize. But that wasn't the worst part, because the next day, I was in the girls' changing room and heard Leela talking to her friends. Why are you dating that loser Biku? He looks like a frog.
Well, that frog pays for all my shopping,
And he's so charmed by me. In fact, he is so blind in love that he sabotaged his own sister. Totally worked in my favor. Leela went on to say that Biku was the one who scratched the sole of my boot so I would slip and lose the competition. I quickly took out my phone, recorded the conversation, and went outside. Leela looked startled to see me. What are you doing here, loser? It's bad manners to hear other people's conversations. You're one to talk about manners, you lying witch. You've got to come clean to the authorities about the competition or what? You're gonna hurt me, chicken legs? You're definitely asking for it. I wasn't, but I am now. Leela tugged at my hair and pushed me hard. I tried to push her away, but I slipped on something and my head hit the lockers. And the next thing I knew, I was in the hospital with a cast around my hand and Biku standing in a corner. Hot tears filled my eyes as I got up and slapped Biku across his face. I know you ruined my boots to help your sick girlfriend, and don't you dare deny it. I have her confession on my phone. You know, Biku, I always thought that even though we fought a lot, one day you would turn around and tell me how much you love me or that you're proud of me, but all you've ever done is hate me. Why?
Because you spoiled everything. I'm the boy. I'm supposed to get all the love and affection, but I just feel invisible in my own house.
That's not my fault. If you try to be better, Dad would love you too, but you keep messing everything up. That Leela doesn't even like you. She says you look like a frog, and she used you to get even with me.
You're just saying that to hurt me. Leela loves me.
No, she doesn't. She's a lying witch, but you're so dumb and blind that you fell for her tricks and ended up hurting your own sister. I hate you, Biku. Just get out. Biku tried talking to me, but I was too mad to respond. I told Dad everything, and he gave the recording to the authorities. Leela ended up getting expelled, and I never saw her again. The next morning, Dad spoke to his friends at the military school, and a week later, Biku was gone. I missed him, but I guess it was for the best. It took me some time to recover, but eventually, I got better and started climbing again. When I turned 18, I was chosen to represent my school at the International Camp for Young Mountaineers. On my first day, I was pretty excited until I went to my room and saw Leela. You've got to be kidding me. No way I'm sharing a room with you. Wait, Mishi, I'm sorry for what happened. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. I can never forgive you. At least give me a chance to make it up to you. It's too late. I thought I was clear with Leela, but she just got clingier. She left flowers by my bedside, brought me coffee, and left chocolates under my pillow. It was creepy, but I could see she was trying. Then one day during training, the camp instructor announced a challenge where we had to climb a huge wall. As soon as the buzzer went off, I sprang into action, and everything was going great until I saw Leela slip and hurt her ankle. She howled in pain as I rushed to help her up and sat her down on a bench. Why'd you help me? Because you were in pain. Don't think that I've forgiven you. Look, I know what I did was wrong, but I never asked Biku to ruin your boots. He did that all on his own. That's supposed to make me feel better? Biku was stealing from Dad to take you out on dates and shopping. Did you know that? No, I never asked him to do that either. Look, Mishi, what's done is done, and I'm sorry for it. We can either stay in the past and be bitter, or move on and be happier. I guess, but it can't happen overnight. I'll wait. Leela and I slowly became friends. After the camp ended, we went to training together and joined our dads on expeditions. Leela was still competitive, but it was fun having her around. But then, Leela found a boyfriend and she was always distracted. She was bunking training sessions and hardly showed up for work. This one time, we were leading a team to one of the toughest treks, and while I explained the procedure, Leela was busy texting. Okay, so we need to use the hack hammer a lot since it's a steep climb. Leela, are you listening? Yes, totally. Really? Then repeat what I said. Okay, fine, I wasn't paying attention. But we've already been through this so many times. I know what to do. No, you don't. Last week, you turned up late for an expedition. And then the week before, you almost cost us a rescue mission because you were texting in the middle of the climb. It's called multitasking. We are leading a team this time. It's a huge deal. So get your head back in the game or I can go on my own. Fine, count me out then. Leela didn't show up for the trek the next day, and I was too busy to care. After hours of climbing, my team and I stopped at a small cafe. I was waiting for my coffee when the most gorgeous boy walked up to me.
Care for some hot chocolate? It's my specialty.
I love chocolate boys. I love boys who make chocolate. I love chocolate.
Whatever you say. I'm Danish, by the way.
Mishi, Danish and I ended up talking all evening. He was a few years older and had migrated with his family from India. He was running a cafe, but mountaineering was his real passion. And eventually, he joined us on the trek. After the trek ended, Danish and I asked me out for dinner, and we were sitting by the mountains when he leaned in for a kiss. But when we pulled away, he looked worried. Was that not good?
It's everything I imagined, but Mishi, my parents are really orthodox and would only like me to date someone they choose. So until I talk to them first, you can't tell anyone that we're together. Promise me.
I found it a little weird, but Danish was already looking stressed, so I agreed. We started dating officially, and things were going smoothly, but it killed me that I couldn't share this amazing news with Leela, who was still mad at me. So I decided to be the bigger person and get her dessert from Danish's cafe, where I found Leela making out with Danish. What the heck? Get away from my boyfriend! Did you hit your head somewhere? Danish is with me. No, he's not. We both turned to Danish, who looked like a deer in headlights, and then ran for his life. I don't believe this, Mishi. How could you stab me in the back after everything we've been through? I stabbed you in the back? You're the one who never told me about your secret boyfriend, and it's not the first time I've caught you lying anyways. Seriously? In that case, Dinesh asked me out first, so if anyone's at fault here, it's you. He wouldn't have had to come to me if he liked you enough. Okay, that was harsh. I take that back. Don't bother. Lena flung her bag and walked away. I followed her, apologizing, but she simply ignored me and left. I even tried calling her 1,000,000 times, but she didn't answer. I felt so lost. My best friend thought I'd betrayed her, and the first boy I kissed turned out to be a snake. Just when I thought I'd hit rock bottom, I came home to Biku waiting for me in the living room. What are you doing here?
It's Dad!
Biku told me that a few hours back, he received a phone call that Dad and his team had gone on a rescue mission to Everest and they were missing.
It's been more than 12 hours since they last got in touch with the base team.
Aren't they sending another search team?
It's a very dangerous climb. No one wants to attempt it.
If no one will go, then I will.
Did you not hear the part about the climb being dangerous? You're not going anywhere.
Stop acting like you have any control over me. You lost that right a long time back. Saying that, I grabbed my gear and left. I took a bus to the mountain rescue headquarters. I was packing up a few things when Leela walked in with Biku behind her. What is this? Some kind of lover's reunion? I heard about your dad and went home to see you when Biku told me you've already left for the headquarters, and now I'm coming with you.
So am I.
You don't know jack about climbing, Biku.
I'm coming from a military school. Trust me, I can do this.
It's too dangerous. Then we'll face it together. That's what friends are for. Well, that and dating the same guy, but who's counting? Leela and I hugged and made up and left to look for Dad early in the morning. When we reached the base of Mount Everest, I gulped. I'd climbed cliffs before, but this was the tallest mountain in the world. It was freezing cold when we started climbing, and at one point, Leela almost slipped, but I caught her and pulled her to safety. We reached the top of the mountain, and ahead was a stretch full of white snow. And then suddenly, I saw Dad waving back at me. I ran and hugged Dad tight as he told me that he and his crew were hit with bad weather and were hiding in a cave till the weather got better. They had a few minor injuries, but no one was seriously harmed, and we quickly went back to base before the weather got bad again. Biku saw us and came running.
I'm so glad you're okay, Dad. There's so much I want to say, but let me start by saying sorry. Sorry for being a horrible son and brother. I guess I felt so invisible. I just wanted to get your attention somehow.
And that's partially my fault. I was so focused on Mishi, I couldn't pay you the attention you deserve, and that pushed you away further. And for that, I'm sorry.
And Mishi, I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, but all I can say is I will do better and earn your apology.
It might take me some time, but I'm sure we can work things through. And I'm sorry for screaming at you because of a boy. You're my best friend, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So what do you say, best friends? Fine, but no hugs. Too late. And that's when I knew that people who are meant to be in your life will always find a way back.